I would like to acknowledge the traditional owners and custodians of the land on which we are recording this podcast, the Bidjigal and Gadigal people of the Eora Nation. We pay respects to elders past and present and extend our respect to Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people from all nations of this land. Welcome to the Pick Me Up podcast, Jordan.
Thank you very much for having me.
We are here with Jordan Leonard, pop music producer, Sydney-based or wherever based.
Sydney-based, yeah.
Sydney-based,
yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
Can you give us just like a little intro for those who don't know too much about you, what your style, your vibe is?
My style and my vibe. So pop music producer, basically just work with a bunch of indie artists, help them create their music, essentially. Opened a studio this year, which is exciting. So do that out of a little space in the inner west. I for the longest time, I was trying to be an artist, but didn't realize that until much later that the only part I actually enjoyed was creating the music. So didn't enjoy any other aspects of artist life, like posting on social media and
that's a journey in itself.
Yeah. So I found a little corner where I can be a little hermit and make music for other people.
I love that. Yeah. What got you into music, like, to start with? Like, what, has that always been a big part?
Yeah, it's always been there. I've always messed around on computers and in software. But in high school, I was in rock and metal bands. That's where I come from.
Heck yeah.
Bad rock and metal bands, yeah. And graduated to pop, I guess, somewhere along the way. I think I was inspired by Flume and Skrillex in like 2012 era.
The vibe.
And they and I was like, how do you make music like that?
Yeah. That's great.
And then spent 10 years learning how to do it.
Trying to do it.
Yeah.
So I always like to start the podcast with what we call the big question, which is, how are you without saying you're good or I'm good?
At the moment, busy. Really busy, but I'm trying not to say good.
It's hard, right?
Yeah, I know. But that's what I wanted.
Yeah.
That's what I wanted. So I'm busy making music. So
great.
I'm loving life.
That's all we can ask for, hey?
Yeah. I love going to work.
Yeah.
I never know what's going to happen. But sometimes it is tricky to like take a step back and fully appreciate how lucky I am to make music.
Yeah.
Because I'm just in it all the time.
Yeah. And how many kind of artists are you working with at the moment?
Like right at this minute, 6 or 7.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's so good.
But yeah, it's the further you go along, I think the better you get at just juggling different songs.
Yeah. Do you find it hard to switch between like different artists and their styles and their vibes and what they're going for?
No, I guess not. But mainly just because I've been doing it for a while now. And you just have to do.
Yeah.
So
you just switch into the zone.
Yeah. But yeah, it's but even I feel like I'm privileged in the fact that I work with a lot of artists who are open to just trying new things as well and not sticking to a certain lane. Yeah. So even within artist projects, I feel like I'm doing something completely different potentially on the next song. Which is
nice.
Cool.
Yeah.
I love artists who do that.
Yeah. What do you find is something that... Let me think about my question here. What's something that's really important to you as a producer to bring to an artist?
I think the number one thing is always trying to realize their vision for the song.
Yeah.
And I think the songs that come out the best are the ones where the artist knows exactly what they want. Yeah.
Do you find it challenging if you were to get an artist, or have you been in a situation where you've had an artist who doesn't know their vision?
Yeah, for sure. And then it's also kind of fun and interesting in a way because you're kind of working that out together.
Yeah.
But what I find is like the more songs I make with an artist, the more we click in.
Yeah.
And I know what they like and don't like.
And finding that balance of working, how each other work, right?
Yeah. And that's part of it. It's part of, like, you just become really good friends with everyone you work with because making songs is such a intimate thing. And you've created this special thing that goes out into the world.
Yeah. And do you find that you have a lot of input in like writing lyrics and stuff with artists, or are you mostly doing the track? Like what's...
More recently, I've been writing more.
Yeah.
But yeah, traditionally, like artists will bring me a fully written song, and we might change like some bits, the arrangement, and the structure of the song, and maybe a lyric here and there. But more and more, I'm writing with artists and kind of learning how to do that better as well, because it's not something that I've put many hours into. I've put my hours into the nerdy stuff. Yeah,
I love that though.
Yeah.
You got to put your hours into something, you know.
Yeah. But it's been fun, and I'm fortunate that artists trust me to help them write their songs. Yeah.
And do you have a go-to process?
Yeah, it's pretty locked in now. It's pretty locked in. Like, basically, if I'm taking a song from demo to master, it's like 4 days. And the first day is like building the instrumental bed. The second day is tracking the vocals. The third day is like editing all the vocals. And then like the second half of the third day and the fourth day is just putting it all together. Yeah. Making sure it all sounds exactly as the artist wants.
That's a nice tight turnaround, 4 days.
Yeah. Yeah.
It must be a hectic 4 days.
Well, not for me. I'm used to it. But for the artist, I think, especially an artist that hasn't recorded before, they just come in and they don't know what to expect.
Yeah. And you're like, let's do this.
Yeah.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah, but you just learn to get decisive, I think. Yeah. That's the trick. Because in today's day and age, you can literally put anything in a song and an infinite amount of tracks. So you have to, I think the journey is like learning to put less.
And do you have a moment where you're like, that's it, I'm done, like I can't do this anymore? Like I've finished working on the track? Or do you find moments where you could just like, can't help but
you definitely need to like walk away from it.
Yeah.
And that's part of the reason why has to be split over multiple days, because when you come back with a fresh mind and fresh ears, you just hear everything that you couldn't before, because after working on a song for 7 hours, like a 3-minute song for 7 hours straight, it just starts to become a bit mushy at the end. And you're like, don't even know if what you're doing is good anymore. Yeah.
Do you have a career highlight so far?
A career highlight?
Random question, I know, but I just always love this about people who've been like at it for a while, you know?
Yeah. I guess that depends on how you quantify success, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Like I've had big things happen in terms of like, I made some music for National Geographic once.
Heck yes, I used to read those magazines as a kid. Like my dad used to subscribe to the National Geographic magazines like all the time. We used to have like this whole stack. So that would be cool for me.
Yeah, but it's definitely not like the first, like that's like bragging rights sort of thing.
I love that though, you gotta have it.
But I think one of the most important things that happened for me was just like the success of my artist project I did before is this Boulevard? Boulevard, yeah. Which we've kind of like reignited this year a little bit.
Talk to us about Boulevard a bit.
Yeah. So it's basically always been just like a collaboration between me and my best friend Edgar.
Yep.
And singers.
Yeah.
And we just make a track together, basically. I always think back at the times in 2020 when we were making music, and we really didn't know a lot back then, and we were just doing what felt right. And I think sometimes the more you know, it's kind of like a blessing and a curse, because you start to overthink everything. And yeah, we just made some really special music back then, and I think like that's probably a career highlight for me in terms of artistry, was just the music we made. And it did okay. But it was more, I just loved the music that we made back in that time.
Yeah.
But yeah, more recently, I did an album with the No Frills Twins, which I'm really proud of.
Yeah, cool.
And I love those guys. And it was a core memory making that album with them.
Yeah.
Because it was one of the first like bigger projects I did as well.
Sure.
And I was lucky enough that they trusted me with it.
Yeah, a full album. That's cool.
Yeah, and it was like crammed in a small amount of time as well. And we just had lots of fun.
Did you have just like one big sort of week where you were doing the album, or did you have different sort of like how was the process of writing a whole?
It was multiple weeks, yeah. I think it was like 6 or 7 weeks.
Yeah.
But it was back to back. So every day we'd just come in and we would chip away at the songs, and when we got sick of one, we would just go to the other song.
Yeah.
I just think they're geniuses in terms of their songwriting as well.
Yeah.
They got quite big early on, and I think that's because they're just like genius lyricists.
Lyrics are one of my favorite things to listen to in a song. Like I'm a lyric person, yeah.
Okay. See, I'm not. I have to listen to a song legitimately like 3 or 4 times before I can pay attention to the lyrics.
Really?
Because I get sucked straight into the production and the melodies.
I was going to say.
And the melodies, yeah. And I'll be like, okay, I'm going to listen to the song again. I'm going to listen to the lyrics. And I'll just get sucked into something in the song and just get completely distracted. Yeah.
That's great. I love always. That's actually... I should add it as a question in the podcast, like what draws you to a song, because it's always lyrics for me. But it's
always different.
It's so different for everybody.
Yeah.
Like some people are like, it's just like the feeling that listening to it brings, or like...
Yeah.
Yeah.
I worked a retail job where I was selling speakers and headphones, and that really opened my eyes to how little the general population know about music. Like 90% of people are like, I like the beat, I like the lyrics.
The beat.
Yeah. And that's like all the song is to them. You know what I mean?
There's just so much more. I mean, I'm lucky I have that. Like I did my degree in composition, so I'm the same. Like I'm listening to all the other elements of the song, but it's always the lyrics for me that I listen to first. Yeah. Well, like I think I have like an order of importance in my mind as to what makes up a good song. Yeah. And lyrics comes third. Okay. Because like I think melody and like chords and rhythm are at the top there.
Are at the top.
Yeah.
And like there's people like Max Martin who always will pick a lyric that sounds cool over a lyric that makes sense. Yeah. And I love that. You may not.
No, I think I do.
Person.
I like that. I think.
But the things that I do, funnily enough, I consider like down at the bottom, like production, mixing and mastering. Yeah. I think that like a good song will always shine through a bad mix. Maybe not always through bad production, but
a bad mix.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're going to do a little top 3 section now.
Okay.
Top 3. Top 3 topic today, so random, is top... Wait, I need to ask this question first.
Okay.
Do you like cooking?
I would say it's my second love to making music.
Oh.
Yeah, I love cooking.
Then this is a great one for you.
Okay, cool.
Top 3 kitchen utensils.
Kitchen utensils.
Random.
Kitchen utensils. I don't think about them like that.
I know, right?
Yeah.
But what are your top 3? I'll do it with you.
Okay. Yeah, let me think for a little bit.
Yeah, have a think.
I feel like you've had some prep time knowing the topic.
I always forget because I again don't choose these. So,
okay.
But
it's always a surprise.
Yeah, I have to say, I will go first because I know one. Wait, does it? That would be an appliance. Utensils is like fork or
there's a difference.
Knife.
Yeah.
Grater?
Oh, you rate a grater? You rate a grater. I hate lyrics.
John's just written the new song.
That's the name of my new band.
Rating a grater.
Rate a grater.
Rate a grater. Yeah, I love a grater because like parmesan, ginger, garlic, I eat a lot of that stuff.
Okay.
So I don't know if it's my number 1, but I reckon in my top 3 would be a grater.
A grater.
How
the grater
random is
good.
That? That's so random. I rate a grater.
A grater. I don't know if a grater would be up there for me.
Fair.
I don't know how I feel about a grater. What are the other sides for? That's what I want to know.
Well, I have a really fun, like just one long, like nice.
Oh, okay. I have a box one.
Specific kind of grater. I like.
And I use one side of it 99% of the time.
Nice parmesan grater.
Yeah.
That I then do my ginger.
Do you have to sharpen a grater?
I've never sharpened my grater.
They would get blunt, surely. These are the important questions.
That's a very important question. I've never thought about that.
Yeah, I'm still thinking. I love a good whisk. Yeah.
Great call.
Whisk are fun.
That is fun. It's a fun utensil.
I have kids, and sometimes the most random stuff will pop into my house. Like I have no idea where it came from, but I use it all the time. It's a mini whisk.
That's so good. Like, give us an example of when you've used the mini whisk.
Like when I'm making a dressing.
Brilliant.
Mini whisk.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
That's so good.
There's a small amount of liquid. So
yes.
Mini whisk.
Yes.
I have no idea where it came from. It just appeared one day, and sometimes that happens.
Olive oil and lemon and.
Yeah.
That's great.
Dressing whisk.
Yeah.
Untapped market.
So good. Okay. I don't think spoons are it for me.
Not a spoon gal.
No, not a spoon gal. Teaspoons are cute.
Teaspoons.
I think maybe teaspoon.
You said no to spoons, but a small spoon.
I'm on the
No
small
big
bandwagon
spoons.
now.
Yeah, miss me with the big spoons. A teaspoon.
Grater and teaspoon. Man, mine are random. I don't know where I'm going with these choices.
A grater and a teaspoon.
Like, what am I going to do with those two things?
Well, you can peel ginger with a teaspoon. I remember when I saw that. What? Do you don't know about this?
No.
Oh, it's such a life hack. I saw it on social media, and you literally like hold the teaspoon, and it's super easy to
Like,
peel ginger.
Man.
Yeah,
I need
you're gonna go home and try that, and you're gonna thank me later.
Yeah, I'm not going to need my grater anymore.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly. Teaspoon, straight to
Teaspoons.
number one. It was at number 2, but now it's at number 1.
so good.
I'd probably have to go like a really good knife.
Yeah.
It's really satisfying when you get
Like
into a rhythm
nice,
with the chop.
Sharp.
Yeah.
knife.
And my knives are always blunt.
Same.
I never sharpen my knives, and I never sharpen my grater.
How do you sharpen a grater?
Yeah, I don't think you
I didn't
can. I
learn
think you
about
just have
these.
to buy a new one.
Right? Yeah. Okay. Third utensil. Do you have your third one?
I don't think so.
Dun, 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 dun. I don't know what my third utensil is.
It's a difficult topic. Utensil.
Kitchen utensil.
I think I've got my third one.
All right, let's do it.
I love a good spatula.
So many purposes.
Does it?
Yeah.
I thought it just had one. Scraping a bowl.
I sometimes use a spatula to do my scrambled egg.
Oh.
Yeah.
Is that a pro tip, is it?
I don't know. It just makes it nice and, like they do in the restaurant. How it's like.
Yeah, okay. Some
Did you
bear
understand
shit.
that? Like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll have to try it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've only ever used a spatula to scrape
scrape
a
the
bowl.
bowl.
Yeah.
What is maybe a rolling pin?
Ooh, that's a good one. Rolling
I think
pin.
rolling pin can make all the doughs.
All the doughs.
It's been a new purchase for me too, so maybe that's why it's like in the forefront of my, because I was using a glass bottle to roll pizza dough, but because I like making pizza at home. So now
Glass bottle.
Yeah, and so
Okay.
now I have a rolling
Like
pin.
a wine bottle. Is
Yeah,
that what you
I peel
okay.
the labels off and just
roll away.
yeah.
Yeah, it's good when you get a utensil you've been missing for ages.
Yeah, I was like rolling pin and a peeler. I recently also got a peeler because and a can opener. I didn't have a can opener, and then I cut my
How
finger
are you
open
living?
really bad because I tried to cut the top of a can open with a knife.
You're like, it's time.
Yeah, and I was like, I've done it here.
Yeah.
I've cut my finger open, so I bought a can opener because normally I just have the
Yeah.
like.
You just purposely don't buy ones that need to be opened.
Yeah, and then I did, and
you
I was
accidentally
like,
did. Yeah.
Bugger.
I bought recently I bought like one of those little brushes with like the little rubber fingers for like
Pastries
oil
and
and
stuff,
stuff. Yeah. Love that.
Yes, that is a good one. Well, we have our 3.
Top 3 utensils.
Then all these other ones came to me.
After
Can
the
opener.
fact. You're going to be messaging me later.
Yeah,
like,
Jordan, I thought of another great kitchen utensil. Okay. Top 3. It's always fun. Great conversations. All right, we're going to move into our little next section now. Mm-hmm. I feel like I'm slowly being swallowed by the cold.
Yeah, just sinking in. It's the end of the day.
Yeah.
It's
Get
get
comfy.
comfy in the lounge.
What do you find your biggest challenge about being in the music industry?
My biggest challenge.
Yeah.
That's another good question. Top 3 utensils and biggest challenge in the music industry. I guess like it would probably have to be imposter syndrome. Yeah.
I think that's a pretty
It
common
never
answer.
goes away. It's always there. It's so difficult not to compare yourself to other people. Like, you know it's the wrong thing to do. But, yeah, it's just one of those things where when you make art, it's so difficult to... It's so easy to get stuck in the trap of like, is this even good? Yeah.
Yeah. Do you have things that you do to help yourself like feel more confident and not like you have imposter syndrome?
I guess just doing.
Yeah.
Like, and just trying not to think too much about that side of thing. I don't know if that's the best solution, but like, yeah, just moving on to the next song and making the next song. I don't know if I necessarily have a coping method for imposter syndrome. It's just there.
Yeah.
But I think all creatives feel it
100%.
to different degrees at
Yep.
different points.
Yep.
You know, and it's often when things are going good, you don't feel it as much. But
Yep.
when, you know, the music is not going as well as you think it should,
Yep.
it's easy to fall into that trap.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So you've been quite a big part of Listen Up Music.
Yeah. I was on the board at one point.
Yeah.
I'm judging the grand final in a few weeks.
Yeah, 26th of October.
Yeah, which is exciting, an honor.
I know.
Yeah.
I'm
I love
emceeing.
Listen Up. I love Ali.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's such a great thing that he's done with building this community. I think it's
Yeah.
so special.
I attribute a lot of like my friendships that I've made in music to Listen Up. Like a lot of my really great friendships in music, I think about where I met them, and it was at Listen Up.
My next question was going to be like, what is something that you found has been so beneficial about being part of the Listen Up community?
Yeah, just the people.
Yeah.
And the community.
Yeah.
It's always the great thing about organizations like that, building a community, is just meeting people who are, you know, on a similar path, trying to make it in music. And you can talk to those people for days because you're all doing on the same struggle, on the same street.
100%. And you understand each other.
Yeah. And you can also nerd out about music stuff.
Yeah. That's the best part, right?
Yeah.
Was there like a pivotal moment, or let me rephrase that. What was it that got you involved in Listen Up Music? Like, how did you first?
Oh, I was in it, I guess, as a contestant. Yeah.
As a solo artist, or is this the Boulevard?
As Boulevard.
Yeah, nice.
As Boulevard. And we made it to the semi-finals, I think. I think it was in 2019. And there I met Eves and Little Green.
What a talent, Little Green, my goodness.
Yeah. Probably the most special song that I've ever made is a Boulevard song featuring Little Green.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I feel like
she's
I
crazy.
know that song. I feel like I've heard that song.
Take Your Time we made 2, but that's my favorite.
Yeah,
Take
nice.
Your Time. Yeah, love that song.
Yeah, super talented.
Yeah, I remember just seeing her that night sing and just being like, wow.
Yep. Yeah. Is there a pivotal moment? Obviously, Listen Up is a mental health charity. Was there a pivotal moment in your life where mental health became really important to you?
Yeah, I guess like trying to make a career in music was stressful financially, and having like a small family as well. So I was dealing with a lot of that at the time. And whenever you're starting any business, it's always stressful first starting out, especially when you have a little family. And I guess I was inspired by the community and Ali, really, and just his love for music and his love for the people in the music industry. And yeah, Listen Up is an inspiring organization, and Ali is an inspiring person.
Yeah. He really is.
Yeah.
He's just the stuff that he's been. I tell him all the time, like the space that he's creating is incredible.
Yeah. Yeah.
And attracts all the right people
Yeah.
somehow.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I feel very lucky to, work with all these artists who are just like, just really great people as well, who I've met through Listen Up.
Yeah.
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 What do you do to look after your mental health?
Spend time with my family, I think, is a big one. I have like time set aside where I'm like, this is family time.
Yeah.
I wish it could be more around work.
Yeah.
But also, I guess the way that I switch off at night after working all day is watching TV series and playing FIFA.
Love it. I played my first game of FIFA on the weekend.
Oh, did you?
Never
Yeah.
played it before. Man, I was bad.
Yeah, it's a steep learning curve.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, the coordination, like it was on a PS5, like the coordination of
Yeah.
like, I was like, what is happening here?
Yeah.
I was getting better by the end. I won the match,
You won the match.
but the person I was playing with was also not great.
Oh, okay.
So,
Oh, well.
but it was fun.
Yeah, but you
I was
still
like,
won.
I can
Yeah.
get better at
Victory.
this. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It's a good starting point.
Yeah. I was like, yes. So that was fun. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's a great, like,
but just like
the wind
winding down at the end of the day. Yeah, and that's how I do it.
Yeah, nice. Is there anything that you would like to, I guess, put out there in the world for either people who are not part of the Listen Up community about joining Listen Up, or get, anything positive about being in the music industry in Australia that you'd like to share?
Wait, about Listen Up or just about anything?
Either one. It can be specifically about Listen Up, or it can just be about being, in the music space. I just feel like it's so nice to share stories like that, or share sort of like important or things that might encourage other people to, be more confident or whatever. I just think that it's so hard.
Yeah. Well, my best advice would be to go to shows and to meet people. Yeah.
Like start being a part of the community.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like it seems logical when you say it out loud, like just be a part of the community that you want.
So hard though,
Yeah. Yeah. It can be challenging. But I think the more you do it, the more you realize how small the Sydney music industry is, and everyone just knows everyone.
Yeah.
And I don't know, my experience has been that it's been super welcoming, and I've just met a lot of great people, and
Yep.
and yeah, Listen Up was definitely like the catalyst for me. I was like, oh, cool, I can just go to shows and just meet all these people who are making all this cool music, the same as me. Yeah.
Like finding cool people to collaborate with.
Yeah, 100%. And that's what I say to all my artists as well. They're like, what should I do? I'm like, go to gigs, go meet people. Yeah. Because you end up making music with those people. You end up playing shows with those people.
Yeah. Nice. So we're going to finish the episode with a little... Do you have anything else you feel like you want to talk about or say or anything?
No, I'm good.
Cool. We're going to wrap it up with a little game called Scenario, which is where I'm going to read out a scenario and then you and I are going to create a little Polaroid down the barrel.
Okay.
And then Justin, who is making all the reels that you're all watching, by the way. Thanks, Justin.
Shout out, Justin.
Okay. This scenario is so wild.
Does Ali think of the scenarios as well? Oh my goodness, he's pulling all the strings.
Yeah. Okay. So we need to get on cozy.
Into photo position.
Yep. All right.
So how much? We have like a few seconds.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So your scenario is you've just gotten your teeth whitened.
Okay.
And you can't wait to show your friend. And then your friend, me, Kate, thinks they look worse than before. So I guess I'm reacting to your terribly white teeth.
Yeah, this feels like a more difficult one for you.
Okay. All right, ready? 3, 2, 1.
How long do we have to hold it for?
Just a few seconds so he can grab it.
I love the hand on the
like,
lip. Yeah, a subtle touch. Just like,
What was that?
Yeah.
I don't know if I should be like, oh shit.
Yeah, that's like, do I say something?
Thanks so much, Jordan, for hanging out on the
Very
Pick Me Up
welcome.
podcast. That was
Thank
great.
you for having me.
Had a great time.
Amazing.
Bye.